What do I mean by um, memes, for instance, which is the last term in the title? Memes are ideas or concepts that constantly recreate themselves and are adopted by different people, and people use their own choice about whether they're going to adopt that sort of confederacy of ideas. Welcome to part two. Alright, I'm going to now talk about from the article now for speed, since I spent 10 minutes on the prelude. Okay, on ethics, Western rationalism against totalitarian, suicidal memes. Why I've used the word suicidal is that there are, in the theory of memes, i.e. concepts that evolve and people adopt over time, but they try to stay constantly relevant, is that some memes are obviously going to be carry on because they're useful. For instance, like farming is a concept that's being consistently used to produce food and everything else, and so people will carry on doing that until something better than farming comes along. Suicidal memes such as, say, totalitarianism or in its various forms, say Marxism or neo-feudalism or something like that, those are sort of selfish memes. They don't actually care about it not to sort of give them sort of an anthropological idea of memes being something outside people's own choices. That the basis of where they come from, that one person who thought them up, may be designed or without meaning to put into the concept flaws which were selfish in how they're going to be operated. For instance, Marxism wanted the highest point of parasitical capitalism, but people now think of Marxism as socialism, which is obviously strange. But they are suicidal because they set up a system which is going to destroy itself and the people who believe in it. And so that's what I mean in that sense by the title. Okay, now I will talk about the article. On ethics, Western rationalism against totalitarian suicidal memes. This video is on the subject of Dr. Francesca Minerva and her co-contributor, Dr. Alberto Giubilini, article titled "After Birth Abortion, Why Should the Baby Live?" Now, before I get to what I've written, we got to be very careful about being tribal and in this sort of debate. And as I said, don't let your emotions rule you about what you're going to write in the comments and things like that. It's because it is a difficult. At present, of course, it's a legal thing to do, and it is a difficult subject for those women who choose to seek that operation. Okay, so we're going to continue. The article's authors claim that there was no solution by policy implied by the article's examination of the issues of killing infants legally, either in the womb or in the process of birth. However, the title was titled "Why Should the Baby Live?" Such a title is both a normative statement and a rhetorical question, which does not invoke the need for a reply. As the title does not just imply, but asserts a defined outcome for the death of the baby, which is of course a deeply disturbing concept, as we were all once babies, and death is a universally understood and as the inevitable equaliser at the end of all living beings' lifespan. A rhetorical question is made not because it wants to start a debate, but to make an assertion to silence debate by making a case for a desired normative outcome, i.e. what should be. A normative outcome is not always designed to be positive for everyone. For instance, if the rhetorical question was, why should the A or B ethnic group live, the association with a program of genocide would be so obvious, not just to the academics who wrote the piece, but to their academic peers and their peers in the citizenry, which would be us, on the big wide world of media and everything else, and in the general public, which is a phrase I really don't like. I like to think of everybody as a citizen because that's what we are, and we're not just a general mass of people, you know. But Dr. Francesca Minerva and Dr. Alberto Giubilini, as academics in the field of ethics, which is not just an empirical science but a conjecture on what the norms of society should be, i.e. what the normal behaviour and accepted conventions of behaviour should be. So that they've made a conjecture on what the norms of society, what should be the norms of society. They will have known that this when they wrote the title. For instance, they did not write the title as why the baby should live. That is or afterbirth, which thus means that there is no age limit to when their view of an innocent human legal person, corporations are legal persons, so I'm trying to be extremely exact in my use of language here, okay, so there's no misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm talking about a human being here, yeah, as a legal person. So in their view of innocent human legal person, at what age they can be killed, it just opens the door for people to be arbitrarily killed at any age, Let's go on. However, this was an examination of the issue, but there was no analysis to produce an empirically better outcome for society or any individual human being, because all those things require you to use analytical, empirical reasoning, right? So, analysis is one or two or many different things that you're trying to judge as to which is the best thing to use, and then empiricism is the method as which you decide which one of those things is the best thing, and then you by reducing the margin of error, and then you're using ethics to decide if that is really something good for society and individuals who make up that society. So their article was not an analysis to produce a empirically better outcome for society or any individual human being, because all those things require you to use analytical, empirical reasoning, which drive to the question of consent. In cases where people are incapable of asserting their natural rights to life, the law, as an agent of the culture, i.e. a systematic use of solutions to problems of that national society, i.e. a community of individuals, who in the Western rationalist societies have the concept of citizenship,